I don't mean it that way, but if your design is accepted by the city, what would people see, tourists, locals, etc., when they approach the circle?
Well, first of all, let me turn it over to Charles Marsala, because Charles had a great idea and went to an architect, and we have drawings of how it could be very adequately developed and handled in a most appropriate way. Charles, let me have you explain that.
So the idea is there's room for 16 plaques, maybe more, on the pedestal, and you could cover all races, all wars, all genders, showing from the Navajo code talkers and what they did for World War II, the USO, the Merchant Marines, women, the role in women, the role from
the waves and the wax.
Yes, the Buffalo Soldiers, their contribution, the Tuskegee Airmen. We got a potential here because of the proximity to the World War II Museum, and not saying it needs to be affiliated with them, but clearly what I saw was on Memorial Day, there is a tribute at Arlington Cemetery, and that evolved from a cemetery from the Civil War to what it is today. So why wouldn't we look to take this iconic symbol in New Orleans and evolve it to a modern facility where you have the events for Gold Star families, Purple Hearts, killed in action, missing in action, and we start to do something that we don't do anyplace else in the country, which is honor the men who didn't come home from overseas, which are over 100,000 soldiers buried overseas.
And atop the pedestal would be?
Well, we actually have had a couple of comments since our proposal has gone public. We have the Goddess of Liberty, but some people have said leave it empty. So what we wanted to do is create a starting point for a conversation. There's 8 statues, and on top, we're not taking a person because we feel that a person lends itself to criticism, or why wasn't it this person if it was that person. So perhaps the Goddess of Liberty is on the Capitol in Washington, D.C., and interestingly, also on the memorial for World War I for a cemetery for American soldiers in France. So that figure has been used before, and we think it's something that's not controversial.
You know, the Statue of Liberty is one of our greatest monuments in this country, and it was given to us as a gift by France. And all I can say again is what we're trying to do in monumental work is to honor the people who we want to remember. And I think that is so important for people not to lose sight of. It is not an individual, it is the people themselves who saved our freedom.
Gentlemen, I hate to interrupt, but I got a contest coming up that I have to get to. In terms of Robert E. Lee, will there still be a presence for him on the statue of some type, or any other Confederate general?
There is actually not any other Confederate general, but I felt that there needed to be a plaque that says the original donors that raised the money for 14 years for that should be recognized and what it was for. So right now, our proposal, out of the 16 plaques, one of them does say originally this was funded by an effort for a plaque for the LSU or the Lee Tigers and Robert E. Lee.
So the next step procedurally, I guess, have you submitted it to the city? Is there a board or somebody to which you would submit this?
Yes, we submitted it both. There is a board called the Human Relations Committee. There's another group, and we've actually sent it privately to Mayor Cantrell so she can become informed on this. We've obviously, like I said, we're updating as we go on because we feel like it's a starting point. You know, if somebody is very upset about Lee, we should then figure out a compromise on that if they don't want a plaque that says the original people spent 14 years raising the money to put up this column. But I don't think that that's inappropriate to have something like that.
And it's been up 130 some odd years with no complaints up until Mitch Landrieu, unfortunately.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. We're out of time. Frank Stewart, Charles Marsala. We'll talk about this on the air, and I know we'll have you two back. 754, code word coming up, $1,000 nationwide cash.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.